In this video, we will have a verbal breakdown of the question types. So what you can expect are text completions. These are basically those sentences or paragraphs that have blanks, and you have to fill in the correct word into those blanks. Now, you will have 7 of these in a row. There will be 7 per section, so it's important to know that they come one after another. The next question type will be sentence equivalents. So there will be 4 of these per section. These are actually very similar to text completions in that there's a sentence with a blank. But here there's always one blank in one sentence, but 2 possible answer choices or words that fit into that blank. Again, you will have 4 of these in a row. They don't actually come right after the text completions, though. Next, it's the good old reading comprehension. That's what everyone thinks of when they think of verbal standardized tests, or at least the verbal section on standardized tests. So there it is, 9 per section. So quite a lot of the verbal section will be reading comprehension. These are not necessarily 9 in a row. They will be broken up. Maybe you'll get a passage. There'll be 4 of those, and 4 questions, that is, and then there will be 4 sentence equivalence questions, etc. Of course, the best idea to really get a feel of what a verbal section looks like is to take a mock test. And there's actually, again, one offered in the GRE official guide. Actually, there's a couple offered, and they're also offered in a software called the Power Prep 2 software. Finally, there's the paragraph argument, and there are about 2 of these per section. Now, the thing is, you'll notice that, wait a second, first didn't do his math. 11, 9, and 2. That's 22. What's going on? Well, the thing is, paragraph arguments are contained in the reading comprehension section. So the GRE actually hasn't given a specific name for these question types, but what they are paragraphs, and they are presenting a logical argument, and you basically have to evaluate that argument. And so again, these 2 questions are actually subsumed or a part of these 9 questions. And indeed, the official guide or the ETS, the people who write the GRE, don't even give a specific name to these question types, but we do, because they are different from your average reading comprehension questions, and oftentimes they are very difficult, so it's good to have a separate section. And indeed, on our lesson page, we have lessons that are specific to paragraph arguments. Now, one little thing I want to talk about here is this built-in difficulty in text completions. Now, in general, the verbal section does not become more difficult the higher up you go, meaning that question 2 is not more difficult than question 1, or the second question you get in a reading comp passage isn't more difficult than the first one, except for maybe text completions. And let me tell you what I mean by this. Well, first off, you get these one blank questions. There will be 2 question types. Typically, the second question is more difficult in the one blank text completion. Next, you're going to get 2 or maybe 3 2 blank text completions. The first one won't be as difficult as the second one, and if there's a third one, it will tend to be more difficult than the others. And the reason why I'm mentioning all of this is from a strategic standpoint. If you get to this third one and you're struggling, it's very difficult, that's because it is very difficult. And you do not get extra points, again, for that question. So it's important, again, the reason I'm talking about this little difficulty is it's a good idea to skip these questions and come back to them if you have enough time. It's definitely a good idea not to spend an inordinate or an excessive amount of time trying to grapple with these difficult questions. Finally, there's the 3 blank text completions. Same thing, you can get either 2 or 3 of these, and the last one, whether it's number 2 or number 3, tends to be the most difficult. So again, don't struggle with that really difficult one, but go on to the reading comprehension and try to find some easier medium level questions there.